Hi, Facebook friends and followers. My name is Chrissy Lally. I am a licensed realtor in the state of Kentucky. I work primarily out of Louisville and surrounding counties. And I wanted to do a quick Facebook Live today to talk to you about why your first step in any home search is going to be getting pre-approved with a mortgage officer. And there are lots of reasons why that's really important, but I'm going to talk about what I think are the 5 most important reasons. First of all, it's really important to know what you can afford. And there are a million mortgage calculators out there that will tell you what principal and interest for a mortgage will be. And that's a very important part of it, but you also have to consider things like taxes and insurance, which also go into that monthly payment. Those things are going to vary, sometimes city by city, sometimes neighborhood by neighborhood. Here in Louisville, where we have a lot of 6-class cities that have their own tax. So if you talk to a mortgage loan officer and get that established ahead of time, they can give you a very realistic idea of what you can afford for your monthly budget. There's also a lot of different loan products that you might not be aware of. And again, sometimes they vary state by state. You may not know if you have enough money for down payment, closing costs, things like that. How much of a down payment do you need? Often that depends on the loan product that you are able to get. Also, if you are, this is kind of an aside, but if you are a veteran and you're gainfully employed and you are interested in owning a home, you should give us a call, because as a veteran, you can get into a house potentially with no down payment at all. So there are some really good veteran mortgages and benefits for veterans. Also, and a lot of people don't realize this, but your interest rate on your mortgage, as well as the amount of money that you need to close, or your down payment, often depends on your credit. So if you establish with a mortgage loan officer ahead of time, before you start looking at houses, they can take a look at your credit and let you know kind of where you stand, and if there are some things on your credit report that can be easily cleaned up. I strongly recommend that everybody, if you don't know this, you can get a free credit report once a year from each of the 3 credit monitoring systems or companies, and that's definitely something that you should do on a yearly basis, just to make sure there's nothing on there that you're not aware of. We've had a number of breaches of data systems that have hit the news in the last few years, and you just never know what's going to show up on your credit report. But the credit report that the mortgage folks look at is a little bit different. They certainly look at different parameters, so they can let you know if there's anything, A, that can be changed, and B, that you need to be aware of before you get into a contract with a home seller. The third thing that I wanted to mention was that it saves a lot of time after you get into a contract to buy a home. So there's usually about 4 to 6 weeks of process from the time you get into a contract to buy somebody's home and the time we actually get to the closing table. And you probably feel like you're just sitting around waiting and nothing is happening. But there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on in those 4 to 6 weeks that it generally takes. Sometimes it takes longer, depending on the circumstances. So if you're already established, and if your loan officer already has a lot of your information, that will move things along more quickly. The fourth thing I wanted to talk about is that we are currently, and have been for quite a while, definitely in a seller's market. So a lot of sellers won't even entertain an offer from a buyer if they don't have a pre-approval. Now, there's something I want to point out, because a lot of people don't understand the difference. Pre-approval is different from pre-qualified. With a pre-qualification, you've had a conversation with a loan officer and you said, this is how much I make, this is how much I owe, these are my monthly expenses, I've got X number of dollars in the bank. And based on your information that you've provided, they'll say, yes, you're qualified. We think you can get into XYZ loan, and this is going to be your payment, and this is going to be your interest rate. Now, a pre-approval is a different situation. The loan officer will probably ask you for documentation of your information. They will pull a credit report and take a look at that, and they will actually write a letter for you saying, you know, with these conditions, this person is pre-approved for a mortgage up to X number of dollars. And that gives you a tool to be able to go and be competitive when bidding for a house or making an offer on a house. I am, as we speak, in a multiple offer situation on a house for one of my buyers. Fortunately, she has her pre-qualification letter that she could send in with her offer, and that's going to make her a little bit more marketable. Or may just have her foot in the door. It may be that the sellers wouldn't even consider her offer without pre-approval. It also helps you to kind of establish a plan and establish, you know, kind of what you're looking for, where you're going to look. It can be fun to go out and look at houses, but it's also a waste of your time to go look at houses if you don't really know your strategy and your plan for what you're looking for. I have a lot of people who say to me, well, I don't even know what I want yet. I don't know, you know, if I want to be in a house or a condo or a townhouse, or, you know, I'm just getting started and I just want to go look at things. Well, that's fine, but you may fall in love with the first house you walk into. You just don't know. I'm sorry, guys. My nose is itching and it's driving me crazy. I just had to scratch. Sorry about that. It is live. So, you know, don't waste your time looking at things that you can't afford, or things that you can afford better. You can afford more. You can have a different neighborhood that you didn't think that you could afford. You know, it gives you more tools. It gives you the power to be able to really know what you're looking for and to negotiate based on that. So, you know, those are a few quick reasons. The reality of it is that in this current market, you're not even going to get looked at really without being pre-approved. Beyond that, it gives you, you know, great ability to really focus in and spend your time wisely. Like and share me on Facebook, Chrissy Lally Realtor in Louisville, Kentucky. I would love to hear from you. If you have any additional questions, send me a private message, or you can always call me. My number is 502-303-8281. If you are at a point where you think in the next year you're going to start looking for a new home, whether you're upsizing, downsizing, getting married, selling your house and moving somewhere else, moving to Louisville from out of town. I get a lot of people who've transplanted from other states or other cities. Whatever your plan is, if you are anytime in the next year going to make that move, let me know. I've got a network of great mortgage companies here in town, great mortgage loan officers who work very well with my buyers, and I'd love to connect you with some of those folks. Pre-approval, again, is not a guarantee. It's certainly based on certain conditions. So I always tell my folks, once you get that pre-approval, let's start looking for your house. Don't make any major changes. If you change a job, if you change your expenses, if you go out and buy a car or a boat or something like that, it's certainly going to change the conditions of your pre-approval. So that may change things, but it definitely is the first step. Give me a call, 502-303-8281. Thanks for listening to me, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.